From the ABC 27 Digital Now Center, this is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, we say good morning, everybody, on this Monday. It's a new week, but the same old weather pattern, unfortunately, is unfolding across central Pennsylvania. Yesterday produced some isolated flash flooding for the region with heavy rain at times during the day, and today, more of the same. We cannot shake this high dew point air, this water-loaded atmosphere over top of us, and I'm going to take you through the threats today, and then we're going to look ahead to the rest of the week, and unfortunately, we just don't see much changing, I hate to say it. So let's get into it here, and we'll take you full screen and go with the Doppler radar, which is not showing much. There are a few showers to the west of Fulton County at this point, but that's really about it. And we have some fog around from the leftovers that were occurring here last night. But, man, it has been very difficult to promise a dry day, to get any dry weather really at any point across the region, and that holds true here on this Monday. Now, yesterday, we can show you the accumulated rain, and you can see where it is, mainly in the northern and western half of the region. Lancaster missing out on the best rain yesterday, but in that box, there's just shy of a half inch of rain, and you may be saying, well, what's the big deal then? Where's the flash flooding? Well, we can show that to you as we zoom in here. Parts of Franklin County, western Cumberland County seeing between 2 and 3 inches of rain. Look at northern Adams County and southern Cumberland County, 4.5 inches there, estimated by the radar. York County, which reported some bad flash flooding near Dover, reporting almost 3 inches of rain, and then parts of Harrisburg and central Dauphin County getting 2 inches of rain yesterday. Here are some of those reports in and around York County. Dover, just after noontime, a creek rose out of its banks. Water was covering some roadways there. And again, water rescues being performed in that part of the region because people were driving through flooded roadways, which, as usual, we do not recommend. So it was certainly an active day in spots yesterday. Other spots didn't see as much, but this morning temperatures are in the 70s, a little bit of rain in the gauge at Hershey and Carlisle. But with temperatures this high overnight and with dew points staying up, we really expect a similar day. The sun now breaking through some clouds in Kinzers, a nice shot of the blue sky there in Lancaster County. That's going to be one of the prime targets again today for heavy rain, Lancaster County. And we can see on the satellite view that there will be some low clouds around that have to burn off in a few spots. But for the most part, that's already happening. The sun's just going to trigger more of these thunderstorms to develop. But look at the numbers. We have not dropped really out of the upper 70s in the cities like Harrisburg, 78, Philadelphia, 77, the dew points right there in the low to mid-70s. I mean, this is about as gross as you can get. If you remember the other summer, I think it was 2018, we had a lot of severe weather. We also had mold that developed in many homes and businesses and school districts because we had dew points that really were above 70 for very long stretches. I feel like this summer is reminiscent of that. So run your dehumidifiers constantly. That's my advice. Yesterday we had a high of 87. That is the normal high. But the problem is we've been sitting well above normal at night. We haven't dropped out of the mid-70s. And look at the rainfall yesterday at the airport, almost an inch and a half. Right here you can see it. And so that now puts our surplus over 3 inches for the year. So I know some people are saying they'd rather this than the drought. I get it, certainly. Nobody wants a drought, but we need to give the sump pumps a break. Because anytime it rains now, it's just going to create ponding of water. This is the Hershey History Center. We can see in Hershey it is still cloudy. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s later today. But it's hard to distinguish a day that's sitting at 85 or 86 degrees with all that high humidity and a day where we're in the 90s because it feels like the mid to upper 90s because it is so humid. So once again, high pressure to the south. Remember, clockwise flow around that. So that means that all of this Gulf juice is going to move to the north, and it creates this very humid atmosphere across the East Coast. That's what we're seeing. That's what we've been seeing. And then today, we've got storminess here along a front, and that front is going to move to the east and give us the opportunity for more slow-moving storms later today. And it is not going to be pleasant here as we move into the afternoon and evening. Look at the storms just blossom up here on Precision Cast. And again, as we move into the late afternoon, early evening, look at some of these storms and notice where the favored area is. Lehigh Valley, Dauphin, York, Lancaster counties again, over toward Philly as the storms get set to move to the east. So these same areas keep getting pounded. Now, by 8, 9, 10 o'clock, most of the activity as you'll see here, has pushed to the south and east. And that would be good news that the storms can move through rather quickly, but they still may drop 2 to 3 inches of rain in spots. Now, tomorrow, probably the best chance to stay dry. Notice there's still a few showers around toward Philly and D.C., New York. Much of the activity should stay to our east tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, because of the air mass again, look at the storms bubbling up. So if you have plans Wednesday afternoon, the storms are going to be around again. Not as widespread. I do think the worst of it is going to be today, but this rainfall model projection really lays it out nicely because, once again, look at Gettysburg. Now, this isn't saying Gettysburg is going to get whiffed. It's saying some places will get whiffed, and it shows that nicely. Now, it also shows some places could get, and not necessarily Harrisburg or Lancaster, that would be the favorite area. Some places could get between 1 and 3 inches of rain today, and that's going to be a problem, especially for areas that have seen that already in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So there is a flood watch posted through this evening. An isolated flash flood threat is ongoing. We cannot get rid of this high dew point air. So anytime the atmosphere is water loaded, I feel like a broken record, right? For the first half of the year, I was a broken record talking about the drought. Now I'm talking about flash flooding all the time. Well, it is a real threat later on today, and we want people to be safe. We see it every day that this happens. Even yesterday, there were water rescues. Pay attention to the warnings, and please use your common sense because some of the rain could get nasty. And in fact, when we look at the excessive rainfall risk, this is something that the Weather Prediction Center puts out. You'll notice the area in red does include Harrisburg, York, Lancaster, parts of southern Lebanon County, over into the Lehigh Valley and Philadelphia. This is the greatest risk area for flash flooding, where over 2 inches of rain will be possible from these downpours and storms later today. We're just in a very warm and humid atmosphere. Temperatures today will be in the mid-80s, maybe not quite as warm as it has been, but still humid. Tonight, we will be in the 70s. Precision cast does not pick up on that. Trust me, I don't think anybody's going to fall into the 60s. And then tomorrow, again, very warm. Temperatures in the upper 80s, just shy of 90 degrees. But the dew points are not going anywhere, and we'll show you that in a second. The extended outlook, as we look ahead, does show you that orange line there on the graph shows you where it feels humid and where it doesn't. And, you know, I thought we were maybe going to get a break tomorrow and Wednesday. We're not. Wednesday will be stormy and humid again. Even next weekend now still looks humid. And I thought that looked like a break last week. So until I see more firm evidence that there is something to change us up, unfortunately, we're stuck in the muck. And that's not going anywhere. Look at the atmospheric water projections. Again, very high over top of us. Now, even tomorrow, we do get this little surge of drier air. But I want you to focus on south central Pennsylvania. We're still sort of in the green here. And so while I do think tomorrow will be mainly dry, it still will not feel great because we can't tap into that deeper brown shading. Wednesday, Thursday, we're there. Friday, probably our next best chance for widespread downpours and storms. Saturday, again, maybe a little bit of a break, but look at the southern portion of Pennsylvania. We're still humid. Sunday, and then maybe by early next week. But again, that could be fool's gold here because it looked like this upcoming weekend we were going to get a drop in the humidity, and now I don't think we will. So the models have a hard time adjusting, especially with the change of air mass. So I'm just saying for now, until I see a bigger signal that we're actually going to get rid of this pattern, it is going to continue like it or not. So Wednesday and Thursday, some stray storms. Friday, a front will drop through, and right here you can see it. So that gives us a pretty good chance for showers and storms. Saturday, again, probably our next best shot at a drier day. But look at what's coming on Sunday. We're ahead of another front, and that means more widespread showers and storms. And even into next week, it stays unsettled and humid as these fronts continue to drop in. So we really have a chance of a storm each day. I think there will be far fewer storms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We get an uptick again on Friday from a front. Fewer storms on Saturday, more storms again on Sunday. Today really does look like the worst of it, though, and that's why we do have that flooding concern. So 86 today, scattered downpours and storms around that could cause flash flooding tonight. Lingering downpours, warm and muggy, and the forecast looks the same, my friends. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Less of a chance of a storm tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow really looks like the driest day all week. Friday, downpours and storms. Sunday, downpours and storms. So unfortunately, again, we're just not seeing a break in the action across the region. Now, I want to take you through Let's go to the HER model. We're going to show you the HRRR model, and we'll bring that up here because I want to look and see, does this show any burgeoning activity? Yes, it does. So this is right in line with precision cast, late afternoon and evening. Now, it does keep the storms moving, but these are storms that could produce 1 to 2 inches of rain very quickly. And it also looks like, for the most part, it does keep us dry tomorrow. Let's check in with our other high-resolution friend, the NAM model, and see what this does for today. Yes, it does show storms a little bit less intense than the precision cast model and the HER model, but it does show them moving through. And then tomorrow, again, it does keep us mainly dry. Now I want to go and show you dew points because, again, I'm very curious as we take a look together on this. When will we get a break from the humidity? So let's pull up our dew point chart here, which we have shown you before. This is the European model. Let's see if we can get dew points to drop below 70 degrees anytime soon. Here's Thursday morning. We haven't seen these drop through. Let's go into the weekend. Any hope that we get some drier air in here by Saturday? Well, it wants to, but for our region, it does not make it that far south. Here's Sunday. Let's go into next week. Monday tries, but again, that could be fool's gold. Next week, there are some signs that maybe we get a break early, but look, we're right back to dew points in the 70s. I'm just taking you through the rest of July now. And again, I mean, I've just taken you out through the whole European model, and it is not great news. Dew points not breaking. You're going to need to run the dehumidifiers constantly. Air conditioner is going to get a workout, and really daily chances for downpours and storms. Wish I had better news, but it is not going to be great here, probably through the end of the month. We really need a strong front to break this pattern, and at this point, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So just a reminder again that we do have a flood watch that is posted here across the region through this evening. And that does include most of our counties, which I will show you here in just a second. Flash flooding is the main concern, and it is simply because we have a water-loaded atmosphere that is absolutely going to create these issues like we saw yesterday in and around York County. So here it is, isolated flash flooding for really anybody in those green areas, but especially for Harrisburg and points to the south and east. So that's the main message here for today, everybody. As always, we like to take you in depth here on our Beyond the Forecast series. We try to post these updates as often as we can. But that's the story for today. More flash flooding, and the long-range forecast shows continued high humidity across central Pennsylvania through the end of July. We'll keep you posted. For now, I'm meteorologist Brett Thackara for Beyond the Forecast.